Hey everybody, it's Steve, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Splintermate bot, showing you how it works, and really just giving you a great breakdown of the bot in general. Now, this is the UI for the bot. This is the dashboard, and we'll be covering this. But first, let's go over some basic things you should know about this bot. It is a cloud-based bot. It is designed for people who want to run many accounts, but it can also work for just one account. It is $1 per month per account, so that's a very competitive price point, and that's why it might even work for someone who only wants to run their one account or maybe two or three accounts, and is not just designed for people who are running hundreds of accounts. It does have a rental screen over here, so this bot is not just designed to run your account and win, it is designed to rent cards for you to win. This means you can use the bot two ways that you can't use a lot of other bots. You can go ahead and set it up with an account like I did for the demo, where you put no cards on the account and you create rental rules where it's going to rent the cards that it needs to go ahead and compete in the focus quest. Or you can go ahead and put an account on here that already has a good collection of cards, and then when it gets a certain focus, you can tell it to rent a few cards to augment that collection. Like, let's say you don't have a few legendary cards or a few of the rewards cards leveled up quite yet, or maybe you're an older player who doesn't have all the Chaos Legion cards, but you have a lot of the beta cards and you're playing in the wild format, so you're like, I would like to go out and rent those cheap Chaos Legion cards. The bot can be set up to do that. You can tailor it to however you want it to do its rentals for your account, and it will say, oh, I got this focus, let's say an earth focus, I need to go rent a Spirit of the Forest to make my deck a little bit better. I need to go rent a llama or something like that if you really wanted those expensive cards added to your deck. And you can also set the price that you would be willing to get those. So maybe sometimes at the beginning of the season, when card rentals are cheap, you can have a rule that says, hey, go get me a level 2 llama to go ahead and quest with if I can get it for this much DEC. And then at the end of the season, when rentals get really expensive, you would just not rent that card. So it's a really cool setup, and we'll get into that more when we go down and look at the rentals. Now, as you can see, this is the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard. The overall dashboard is designed to track a lot of different accounts and show you how much you're earning with it, because this is a bot that is tailored a little bit more towards people who are going to run lots of accounts and do it almost like an investment so that they can track it. And so this dashboard does that very well. It tracks the price of SPS, the price of DEC. It shows your balances and how much you're earning in the last 24 hours. It shows you how many accounts you have, how paid up you are on those accounts, what your win rate you're running on those accounts. And as you can see, I'm currently doing a 51% win rate. This is an account using only level 1 cards, nothing special to help it out. Maybe a few epic cards that I bought with the 3,000 credits you got when you set up the new account. But in general, it's been doing really well at just renting level 1 cards, winning more than it loses, and going ahead and increasing my DEC amount. I started with 5,000 DEC, and I moved up to 6,000 DEC now. So it's been steadily climbing, and the bot will eventually pay for itself. I know 1,000 DEC isn't really worth $1 anymore, but I haven't had the account for close to a month. I've only been using it for a little over a week. So it'll easily farm enough DEC to pay for itself, and that's not even including all the cards that it's gotten in its rewards. Let's go ahead and go down to the overview tab now. Now on this page, you'll see the list of my one account that it has running, and you'll see, a quick breakdown. Here's the power, here's the current rating, here's your interval of play. I have the bot set to play every 40 minutes right now. Is it enabled and running? These are like the basic things you can do here. You can also click on an account. In theory, if you were running a lot, they'd all be listed here, but you can click on one, you can do an edit, and here you can do a quick little change of how often you want them to play, and you can do a little thing on if you want them to automatically claim rewards, if you want it to rent for your focus, which usually you will. But the big thing is you can set a win rate. Now, the win rate is important on the bot, because what this says is if you are on an earth focus and the match has at least this percentage of chance to win with an earth team, I will use an earth team. But if it doesn't meet this threshold, then I'm going to use the team that is best to win. And so sometimes, at the end of the season, when you're just farming rewards, you might want this a little lower. But I'm going to change this now to 40% because it's the start of a season, and I would prefer that the bot win a little bit more than lose, even if it means I get a little less focus rewards in the beginning of the season. Everyone will have to decide how they want to adjust that, how they want to run that, what they want to do. By default, they have it set at a 35% chance, but let's say you'd rather play coin flip games, then you could set it up to 50%. It'll be your choice. Now, once you've done those kind of settings, if you want to learn more about how a certain account is doing, in case you want to adjust it, you can go ahead and click on the magnifying glass and it'll bring up more information. Now, as you can see, this is almost like the dashboard in the beginning, but it's for the one account. So it's going to show their most recent game, the cards that were used in those games. It's going to show the power, the rating, the capture rate, the amount of DEC on the account, credits, chaos packs that it's farmed, and then you have another tab where you can look at more of the games. This is an important tab, and you might just think, oh, I'm just going to ignore this. But it's important because you want to get a feel for the kind of cards that the bot is using when it wins. And this is because you need to rent the right cards to make sure you're getting the best rewards. We'll go over that more when we go down and look at the rentals. But this is where you'd come and you'd see, okay, when it has a water quest, it's going to go ahead and be using Kelia most of the time with Serpent of Eld, Flying Squid, Deep Lurker, Hardy Stone, Curl, and a Cephalopod. Let me go double check here. What did it use here? An Oceanus, a Pellicore Bandit, and a Uraeus. Let me check this one. The Fish, the Ice Pixie, the Venari Wavesmith, because if you don't have your bot sent to rent these cards that it's using most often, then when it wins, it won't win very much DEC or get very much resource points because it's going to be using the ghost cards, the free cards, and getting lower rewards. So we do have to make sure that we rent out the right stuff, and this is something I still need to find the time to do, but it is something that you'll want to make time to do if you're not like me and trying to run 4 accounts right now and make videos and take care of my sick kids, even though they're all better now. It's definitely something I'll be doing. There's a collection tab. You can break this down by all cards on the account or the cards you own. The cards you own would usually be the cards that you have either bought for the account or the cards that you have gotten from rewards. As you can see, it's gotten a good amount of rewards. It also has a few of these cards because I purchased them. Like I know I purchased, obviously, the Magi of Chaos because I wanted it to have this card because I feel like it's useful, and a few others that were relatively cheap early on. And every single account you set up with, you can make a list. Thinking back on it, I should have just bought a couple summoner cards because they give you 3,000 credits and you can try to go ahead and get yourself a couple cards that way. There is also a logs tab. This really just keeps a log of all of the notifications that you get. As you can see, they are here, and they're just something for you to have a track of. There is a rewards tab. This rewards tab is pretty good to go ahead and look at the cards you've gotten recently. When you want to just look at all the cards that any account has farmed. So see, it lists them out and it lists whether or not they were rare. Here's where it pulled me a Genova, an epic card, and it will tell you the date at which they pulled those. Now, over here on the transactions tab, it's showing you JSON transactions. You probably won't use that very much. Mostly you'll come to the account tab, you'll spend some time on the game tab, and obviously the rewards tab is pretty important too to see all the different cards that you are farming on a particular account. Now there is other places you can see those things. The other tabs are also very useful for the similar kind of things, but this is for like a look at just a deep dive down into one account. Now, if we go to the balances tab, on this tab, you would see all the different balances on all the different accounts. This is a good one to be able to go into because you're able to see currently, like if an account might need a little bit more DEC for renting, if an account's collection rate is lower than you like, and you might need to go and adjust its play style. It's just going to be a nice summary tab to be able to look at. You can also click on an account and you'll get back to the overview deep dive of an account. So if you didn't catch it when you're on the overview, you can click on it to get back from balances. It has a quest tab where it'll be able to show you the quest. Now my quest just reset, so it has just been changed over to fire, and now the bot is going to try to win the chest. Once it's been questing for a little while, it'll show how many chests are here, and how much progress is here and how much time is remaining. This way you could track all of the different accounts that you run, and let's say you saw an account that was, you know, down to like 2 hours left with a high ECR, and you wanted to go ahead and farm, I mean, in a low chest count, you were like, oh wow, it's only earned 2. I want to go ahead and speed that account up and see if it can't earn a few more chests. That's just something that this would help you be able to do. On the rewards tab, you're going to see here that you can do a good list out of all the rewards that you've got on the account. But if this looks a little messy, they do allow you to change it. So you can change it over to cards and hit apply, and now it will remove everything except for the cards. You can also say if you wanted to look if it had earned you any gold cards and hit apply. I haven't pulled any gold cards yet, so it clears everything out, but that's kind of an example of how this can be used. We'll change that back to no, and you can see now all of which account earned the card and how many cards that it earned. There's also the ability to look into chaos, packs, credits, DEC, or potions. So you can look at all of these different things and you can see the earnings that it has gotten from its rewards. This is kind of cool because you can look and see, have I pulled any big DEC rewards? Oh, look right there. I got 118. That's a big reason why this account is up 1,000 DEC since I started using it. Now, as we get into the summary tab, this tab is a little bit more simplistic and just takes another look at each account, the amount, the rating, the power, and the DEC on it. Again, you can go ahead and click here to get into that deep dive overview tab of each additional account. And the summary tab in general is just a good one to be able to use, again, when running multiple different accounts. Now, when we get into the settings for the bot is kind of is actually relatively simplistic. So when you see this username here, we click on it. Oops. That's where it'll take you to the account. You click this editing, and this is where you set up the actual bot. You will need to provide a posting key that enables the bot. And then if you go down quicker and you want to do automatic claim, it can do that. If you want it to do focus questing, it's going to need you to provide the active key for rentals. So once you provide your rental, your active key here, it'll be able to rent for you. Do know that you'll have to do that to be able to go into the next part we're going to talk about, which is the rental settings. There is a transaction tab. We won't send, this is the same one that I showed you under the individual accounts. We won't spend much time there. There's also a season rewards tab. This is pretty cool because it'll break down all of your season rewards and you're able to review them for each account here. That's kind of a cool thing to be able to do. As you can see, I did get a decent amount of season chests last season, which is a pretty fun thing to be able to do on a botted account. Now you can get into the rental tab, and we'll talk about the 2 types of rentals that they do. So this is the rental groups tab. The rental groups tab is the one where you're going to be setting up rental groups for them to rent cards when they're on a particular focus, or you can just set them up to rent them all the time. As you can see, I have a neutral rule here that doesn't say it's focused on a certain splinter of a focus. It's just set up, and so the account always tries to rent these neutral cards as long as they are a decent price. I can click in here and basically I'm saying I want a supply runner, I want a Scalvo hireling, I want a disintegrator, and I want a chaos agent. Oh, see, I'm actually renting that one, but only if it's at these prices. Go ahead and put one on my team. I'm willing to spend 1 DEC a day, and then you link it to as many accounts as you want. If you had a lot of accounts, you would just link this to all of them, and they would all rent these 4 cards all the time. But then when we go down into here on my death team, I only want it to rent these cards when I have a death focus. So you can see that you're able to set the cards you want to rent, how much you want to pay, and it'll show you the current market price. And if your offer is above the current market price, it highlights it green. If it's below, it's red. This is just letting me know that right now, if I want to ensure my team has an undead badger, I need to go ahead and increase this rental rate by looking at this and go ahead and do a quick edit. If I take this up to 1.1 and I hit save changes, I turned it green. Now, you might not want to do that because maybe that card's not important enough to you. How do you figure out what to rent? Well, they have a very good help guide that shows you the basic cards that they suggest you set up to be rented for each one of the teams to start. After that, you would need to go ahead and check the bot, see what cards it's using, and adjust it from there. Obviously, if you don't want to use the rental system, then you need to supply these cards, and you can use their guide to buy the ones that they say rent, because it's best for you to use the cards that they have suggested to start with for the use of this bot. Now, they have another rental system, because if you're only renting cards for the focus, right? So I'm only renting these cards when I'm on a death focus. And if I go back to my rental groups, I have a focus for when I have a dragon one, when I'm on an earth one, when I'm on a fire one, when I'm on a life one, and when I'm on a water one. And eventually you'll be able to set rules for all the different focuses that they release. So you'll be able to teach the game what to rent when you have a certain type of quest. And so that's really like a real advantage. Now, but that doesn't necessarily give you enough power to compete in the league that you want to compete in, right? If I'm only renting level 1 death cards, my power level is going to be kind of suspect, and I might not be able to get up into bronze 1, which is where I want to play, because that's where I'm going to be earning the most bronze rewards. So they have the Peak Monsters bid system that you're able to use. Now, this one is a relatively simple setup, so we'll go into here, and let's see, do I click here? No, that takes me back to there. Sorry, guys, I haven't done this in a while. Oh, yeah, I got to scroll over. See, I'm zoomed in to make everything a little bit bigger for you, and I forgot about that. So if we click the edit button here, you're able to put the CP DEC that you want to do per bid. So I'm willing to do 250 CP per DEC is what I'm looking for. I can tell it the minimum amount I want it to rent, which is 5,000 CP. The maximum amount that I want the bid system to pick up, which is 51,000. This is enough CP to put my account into bronze 1. So this is what I'm trying to rent. And I'm willing to rent all the way down to a minimum amount of 5 DEC per card. Now, that allows me to rent pretty much any card as long as the amount I pay would be this CP DEC. Now, one thing to note, on the Peak Monster system, this does not always get you the cheapest rentals, but it's an automated way to get them onto your account, and it's nothing to do with their system. It has to do with the way the Peak Monster rental system works. So if you go over here and you see that my account has this 250 DEC bid in, and it's already been filled, because currently people are willing to pay are getting their cards a whole lot cheaper than me. This is somewhere where I should come and say, like, wow, I need to adjust my bid because I'm paying way more than these people are currently have active going. And if you go see the recently filled ones, you can see they're getting their cards around 400 or 500. So I can go back to my bot, I can get it and edit, and I can go, you know what? Now that the new season has started, I can lower this down to 400, and I'll probably still have it filled. But you need to play with that a little bit. But why did I say that this doesn't get you the cheapest rentals? Because if we do a quick refresh on the rental page here, you're going to be seeing that people are renting this card out for 1,700 CP per DEC, and people are renting this one out for 1,000 and 1,000 and 1,000. So could you manually try to rent cards for power and get a slightly better price? It's possible, too likely on certain days, but with the bid system, you're going to be able to have that all automated for you, and it is a little bit easier when you're running a bot farm to do it that way. You'll have to decide how you want to rent enough power for your account to work. It'll be up to you, but the bot has the tools to do it for you with what is currently available on the Peak Monster site. Okay, so that covers most of the bot and about everything that I could think of that I really needed to tell you. There's just a little things I want to go over quickly as we wrap this up and move on. So this bot is relatively new, but it is set to keep learning. So the more people that use it, the better it will get, and these win rates should start to go higher. Obviously, also, if you put a little bit more effort into your account and spend a little bit more money and supply some of the epic cards and legendary cards, then your account will obviously probably have a better win rate. Though the bot does need to learn to use those cards. So you want to pay attention to what it's using and doing, because they have to, it's no use to have a llama if the bot never uses llama, because it's not used to that being used, because most people don't have a llama, and it is learning how to play the game and get better. So everything else that I could say is just this system works, and it works and is profitable. Because if you look at my account, I've earned 1,000 DEC. I've only been using it for a week. It would only cost me $1 for this one account. This one account was only given 5,000 DEC, and to be honest, I could have started it with only 1,000 DEC. And it's able to play the game. It's able to earn me free rewards. It's able to just play and win at a pretty good amount when I'm too busy to play the game. Going forward, I'll be moving over my wife's account and the Drazius account that I cover in my videos into this service, and I might even play around with adding some additional bot accounts. Obviously, accounts like this, some people might not like the idea of one person running 10 or 20 accounts, but if it's profitable and you're able to increase your card collection, then I see no problem with you doing that. And because we're in a new system of the game now where ghost cards don't earn you anything, you do have to put skin in the game. You do have to buy spell books. You do have to buy cards. You do have to rent cards, which gives money to other people. So in general, systems like this, as they grow and get more popular, if a lot of people were doing this and a lot of the rental cards got taken off the market, well, then we would have to start paying you guys more money to rent your cards. And that's just the truth of the matter of this economy. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want to learn more. There'll be a link in the description, both to the website and the Discord of the Splintermate bot. I want to say thanks to the team. They've been really helpful working with me, giving me extra time to demo this so I could show you guys a lot of the different stuff that it does. And I'll be covering it more in the future as I do plan to use it. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.